Well, hey everybody, John Bergsman here from the Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest on the beautiful shores of Port Clinton, Ohio. This is one of my favorite places to fish. It's a show I knew I had to shoot this year in the spring. We're in late April, and what we're dealing with here is just bonsai fishing, literally from the Ohio line all the way through Huron and even over to Lorain right now. This early spring bite happens typically in the shallower waters of the lake, in and around the reef structures and spawning areas. And as soon as the fish are done spawning, usually in mid-April, it ends up being a post-spawn trolling bite for a good couple of weeks where these fish will suspend, and they're very, very easy to catch. Been in the water, well, as you can see from the turmoil around me, less than 5 minutes because we don't even have all the boards set. But the outside board flew back. So we're hoping for a good day. We're going to show you a few really cool tips on shallow water walleyes. I'm going to do this one myself. Oh, this fish is strong. Take and drag. Thank you, Eddie. There we go. Again, some custom colored lures, less than a mile from shore, just producing some really nice eater fish here on Lake Erie. You know, we're late April, last couple days of April. We got boards going all around us. Eddie's got a board next to me going, and these lures are really working good. Simple way to take these boards off when you're by yourself is just pop the front one, take the slack out, hoist the rod up, reel it back and around. I'll bring this right over to Duncan here for netting. What we're doing here today, after we get this fish in, nice little walleye. Whoa, he's a little green. He's a decent one. Nice walleye.
Okay.
So what we're doing here today, if you can see in the background, we're shallow water fishing for walleyes. When you get wind, we got a little bit of wind today and you're on Lake Erie, you know, you don't have to run 10 miles offshore. We are literally, I think, what, Duncan, a mile offshore? We're only in 14 feet of water. We're testing some new crankbaits. Strike King's got some new custom color crankbaits. Now, they're not available yet with the manufacturer, but this is the new banana shad, and it is a fantastic bait. And what I've done is taken it to the custom color guy, Dave Domka from Domka Outdoors, and had him paint the colors that I really like here for Lake Erie fishing. Now, anybody can do this, but what I'm really excited about is the fact that this dives the same depth as the other critical baits here on Lake Erie. It's got a fantastic action, and you can run it fast, and it won't blow out on you. So we're here testing these today, and first 15 minutes, it looks like they work pretty good. You're gonna have to reel them in now. Oh, nice fish. Oh. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful fish right there. We'll show you that Strike King lure in a minute, but we got another fish on. Wow, look at these baits. I'll show you this right now. We're still under power. But look at that. We've custom painted these banana shads, and we are just pounding on fish just as fast as we can get the lines out right now. Part of when you're fishing these shallow water fish, you've got to find where they're at. I know that sounds really silly, but you won't always mark these fish really well. Sometimes you just gotta search around with what you know is a mid-depth bait. Thanks, Duncan. And you just gotta get the lures out there, and that's our custom paint job. Just an orange belly, which is critical on Lake Erie. Purple's always a great color. And let's get this bait in. That's our first limit. We've been here less than an hour. A limit of just some super nice 20-inch walleyes.
The Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Crestliner, forged with strength, defined by durability. Strike King Lures. Tie one on. Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
Just before we left for Port Clinton, Ohio, we were experiencing massive wind. And as all fishermen know, massive wind is not a good situation, mostly because of boat control and comfort. Again, late April is not always warm. It was only in the upper 40s, and we were blowing 30 miles an hour on our drive to Port Clinton, Ohio. We had a little bit of a lull today in the wind, but we still had a pretty strong offshore wind from the south, you know, really creating some rough conditions out in the deeper water. So what we did today is what almost every fisherman experiences, and that is you adjust your tactics, you adjust your fishing location to accommodate the circumstances that you get in the weather. And we really wanted to talk today about how we did that. You know, there's a little known bite here on the shores of Lake Erie that a lot of people don't know exists, and that is the immediate shoreline bite. And when I say immediate, as you've watched this show, you'll see we were literally a half a mile from shore, 12, 13, 14 feet of water. And there is some really good fishing to be had at that time of the year in this early April, May circumstance in this shallow water. And it's there all the time from the Ohio line all the way down past Huron. You can get this very close to shore bite. So if you drive all the way to Port Clinton or Huron or any of these northern Ohio communities to fish and you experience an offshore wind, it isn't time to just turn around and go home. It's time to adjust. Another nice little eater. You know, these are the perfect size fish, and I don't know if you can see over my shoulder right now while I talk. That's how far from shore we are, right here on Lake Erie. And you know, again, we've talked earlier in the show about not having to go a long way as well. This is exactly what we're talking about. We are literally 1 mile from shore, 12, 13 feet of water, just catching dinner. You know, when you're shallow water fishing, Duncan, it's true, you can catch some big fish in here.
I know a 10 was caught in here the other day.
Yeah, I mean, this fish just kind of hung the board, which is a classic, oh yeah, that's a nicer fish type look.
Yeah.
But we're also fishing our electronics in this shallow water. You really have to pay attention to where you're at. And when you start not catching fish, just turn and go back through those same areas. But again, these lures that we put on, the custom painted lures, have just been phenomenal. Oh, another beautiful fish. These are just super good eating size fish, and that's really what you come to the shallows for, is you can go out deeper for sure right now, and you could probably battle, what, 4 or 5 foot waves. Just because you get a little wind doesn't mean you got to go home. You just have to change up, and what we've done changing up is the Strike King custom colored banana shads, like that one right there. We'll show you. Perfect little eater, maybe a little 16, 17 inch fish, but we're doing the catch and release selective harvest this year, and that means we're really encouraging people to let the bigger fish go, keep the resource good for reproduction, keep a limit of smaller fish, no problem, 17 to 22 inch fish. Lake Erie's filled with those. That helps keep the lake good, and it keeps your live well filled and your freezer filled with fish. So this one's gonna go home, and I think we're pretty much done after that. Take a look at that live well. Now that's a live well that anybody would be proud of on 2 passes with the new Strike King lures.